Hey, Reviews on Media here. Not back at the reviewing wall, and never again, because I'm not doing the reviewing wall anymore. I am, from now on, going to be at a reviewing desk. Now, basically, the reason that I'm doing this is because it's just easier. The green screen that I use for the reviewing wall is in a very inconvenient place, in my home. It's a lot of work to like chroma key and stuff, and it's annoying. And if I just do it like this, it's much easier. It's more convenient, and I'll probably do more reviews with just this setup, because it doesn't take as much work. That being said, let's start off with The College Dropout. Now, The College Dropout was released in 2004, and it was Kanye's debut album. And it was a huge gamble. Before this album, he basically had no, I guess, rep as a rapper. He only really had a reputation as being a really good producer, because he'd been producing for a number of years. But when he released this album, people basically didn't expect him to be as good of a rapper as he was. And people didn't expect this album to be as good as it was. I mean, Through the Wire came out, and that basically put him on the map. It made him a cultural icon. For better or for worse, you know. You can deduce that for yourself. First off, I want to mention the production on this album, because the production is fantastic. I'm a sucker for soul samples, and this album really helped me realize that. The beats on this album, the samples that Kanye chooses, are just so good. I mean, every beat on here, like, even the ones that aren't particularly memorable, there are none that are unpleasant. Every song on here, memorable or not, sounds good when it's in your ears. Okay, some of my favorites, like, not even just lyrics, like, some of my favorite beats on here are some of my favorite beats of all time. I love the beat for Through the Wire. That's a great sample. I love how he uses the sample as kind of a chorus, I guess. And, you know, also the New Workout Plan, which, you know, I'll get to that later, but actually, you know, that doesn't use any samples. But yeah, the majority of this album's beats are based around soul samples, which I love, and I appreciate that very much, because I just love those types of beats. Now, Kanye West, like I said before, people didn't really appreciate him as a rapper before this album came out, and that's because this album is very introspective. It's very kind of different from his newer output. He talks a lot about stuff that really matters to him. You know, everything from, you know, issues in his family and trying to get through those issues in the song Family Business, to rapping about, like, telling a story about how he got in an accident and his jaw got wired shut in Through the Wire. And then rapping while said jaw is still shut, which is pretty great. It's pretty funny, actually, Through the Wire. But yeah, overall, you know, Kanye West, he's got a good flow. He does rap well. He goes well with the beats, mostly because he produced them himself. But he's not, like, he doesn't have one of those crazy flows or anything like people like Twista or Tone Deaf. It just sounds very good with the music, and it works. And the lyricism is very good. You know, he's got a lot of funny, very quotable lines, like, she's got a light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson, got a dark-skinned friend that looked like Michael Jackson. That line was always a favorite of mine. That's in Slow Jams, by the way. But there's also features. Like I mentioned before, Twista, he's a lot more, I guess, talented of a rapper than Kanye. He's not my favorite. I don't listen to Twista, but he does very well on this album. In the song Slow Jams, they actually make a joke of Twista actually being able to rap a lot more faster than Kanye can. Before they go into his verse, Kanye's like, damn, I don't know, I can't go that fast, but I know someone who can, which is pretty funny. You know, overall, this album has a really kind of, it has a lot of features. Everyone from Jay-Z to Common to Twista, as I mentioned before. And they all really work, and they all drop solid verses. But none of them outshine Kanye, which is good, because Kanye is the main person. He should be the main person, because this is his album. But they all do very well. You know, Common kind of became a regular on Kanye's albums, appearing on Late Registration, as well as some other singles he put out and stuff. And of course, you know, Jay-Z, Kanye and Jay-Z made a whole album together. Yeah, but the features, everything, all the features on this album are really, really great. Some of my favorite songs in general on here are Slow Jams with a great soul sample, Jamie Foxx on an absolutely killer hook, which is just fantastic. I always hum that hook to myself. It'll never leave my head. And of course, Twista drops a great, fast, non-stop flow verse, which is very fun to listen to if you can understand what he's saying. And then also another favorite of mine is, of course, the New Workout Plan. It's kind of a parody of vapid fitness infomercials, and at the ending part with just basically like it completely changes the beat up. It comes in with a vocoder and hand claps. It's catchy as hell, and I love it. And it uses no samples, which is actually, I think, pretty impressive that my favorite song in the album uses no samples. You know, overall, this album, I really love it, but the one problem that I do have with it is that I can't say that it's perfect. I can't say that's my favorite album ever, because not every song on here is memorable. Every song on here is pleasant to listen to. None of them feel bad on the ears. None of them leave a bad taste in your mouth or anything, but all of them, but not all of them are really that memorable. The vast majority of them are, but a few of them, you know, I look at the song list on the CD, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember hearing that, because they're just not really that memorable. The beats aren't memorable, they don't say anything really that interesting, so, you know, whatever. But as far as negatives, that's really the only thing that I really don't like about this album. Not every song is good. I mean, not every song is memorable. And if that's really the only complaint that I can think of for this album, I think it's pretty damn good. So, overall, I love this album. I listen to it very, very often. And I think that this was a great way to introduce Kanye West into, you know, mainstream audiences. You know, so yeah, overall, I hope you enjoyed this video too. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.